Have you ever felt like something was growing inside of you that you couldn't control? Perhaps it was a desire, an inadequacy, or maybe a need to understand something? Well, if you are watching one of my video essays, then the answer is definitely yes. In fact, if you're a human being, then the answer is definitely yes. Because we all feel emotion, and at some point in our development, we are taken over by several of those emotions in response to existing in a world full of stimuli. The answer to why we feel those emotions is a topic heavily debated between naturalists and the spiritualists. But anyone with consciousness agrees that their experience exists in some way, shape, or form. As stories have developed around the experience of conscious emotional states, us humans have gravitated towards metaphor as a subconscious way of reflecting upon our own emotional pathologies. One of the most prominent examples of this in Western pop culture is the superhuman, an exaggeration of human traits meant to overemphasize through the physical what many people experience internally. As far as superhumans go, one of the most popular physical metaphors in this genre is the Hulk. And one of my favorite pieces of media surrounding the huge green man is a little video game called The Incredible Hulk: Ultimate Destruction. This particular video game revolutionized open-world traversal in video games by asking the question of what it would be like to control the actions of an unrelenting rage monster. The game devs created a very tactile and interactive experience. This destructive interaction with the environment answered questions in terms of what would the physics of Hulk-level strength feel like and allow one to do. You can leap tall buildings, run up walls, rip sedans in half and use them as boxing gloves, headbutt giant mechs, and grab a tank by the barrel and fling it several city blocks. This power fantasy would go on to inspire the mechanics and physics of several other power fantasies in video games going forward. The question is, why would taking control of the Hulk be something we as consumers would want? Sure, you can answer this question functionally, in the sense that interacting with a responsive game with tight controls makes the brain feel satisfied with hits of dopamine. That is, that the game is fun. But why does this game work outside of just the fun aspect of smashing flying plane make brain go, ooh? Well, like I said earlier, to make processing emotions more digestible, we create metaphor to project that experience on something we can analyze. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are so beloved today because they did this with so many relatable yet larger-than-life characters. The Hulk is a segment of that relatable metaphor in the Marvel pantheon, and this game explores the metaphor better than any production put to screen yet, in my humble opinion. It really takes a look at the concept of repressed anger, shows how working through that repressed anger can be messy, frustrating, and dangerous, shows how external forces deal with people's repressed anger in both supportive as well as unhealthy ways, and how different people can deal with that anger in different ways. This game is also the only on-screen piece of media that I can think of that tells the reflective narrative of the Hulk versus his arch-nemesis the Abomination thematically well, so I'm gonna talk about it. It's a good story that shouldn't be lost to time in the dialogue around Marvel characters, and that ended up being a far better Hulk film than either Ang Lee's 2003 take on the character or the early MCU take on Bruce Banner's story. I mean, come on guys, you had an actor the caliber of Tim Roth and you turned him into an expressionless plank of wood? In fact, I would say it also feels way more grounded than Mark Ruffalo's take on the character, and showcases the Bruce Banner from the comics way more faithfully. Hell, it even shows what comic books inspired the design and the writing in the game's supplemental material. So let's start at the beginning.
There's a thin line between good and bad. I walk that line every single day. When I stray from it, people die. My name is Bruce Banner, and this is me. I'm not a person anymore. I'm the Hulk. I did this to myself, all in the name of science. This is me, and all that I've become. I'm a big, green time bomb, and I'm ticking.
in?
Oh, out getting some fresh air.
Well, I'm glad one of us was. All right, listen to me. I've intercepted a transmission coming out of Branson Military Base. Some spook named Blonsky's taken charge. They're planning a major foray in your direction as we speak. Bruce, he's requisitioned half the men and supplies in the base. They know you're out there and they're coming for you. I want you to come back into town and lay low for a while. You're in real danger out there.
Len, if I came into town, everyone would be in danger.
Bruce, as your doctor, I'm urging you to reconsider. Your health's deteriorating by the hour. You're not going to find a cure for the Hulk out there by yourself.
Hey, you worry too much. Nobody knows I'm here.
Hello, Dr. Banner. I've waited a long time to make your acquaintance.
So great. We have our opening motif and basic expositional understanding of the main character and his struggle. In literally a couple minutes, the game sets up the primary conflict of the character, his goals in overcoming the conflict, and the antagonistic forces coming against him in his goal. This is simple but effective in setting up the plot for the game.
It doesn't matter. This is just the beginning.
I hope you're satisfied, Blonsky. The Hulk got away.
He'll turn up. He's a freak, and a conspicuous one. I'm more concerned with what Banner left behind.
There. I want that biocontainer before it's destroyed.
Careful, Blonsky! You have no idea what you're playing with.
I have a job to do, General. Banner left his toys in the playground, and I'm not about to watch them burn.
Barely a moment passes, and we have the setup for the villain. We have a basic understanding of his goals and insight into his rashness and reckless drive to further control the situation, and information surrounding the Hulk. Suffice it to say, the game does not waste any time.
They took the machine from me. It was the only chance I had. I didn't have anywhere else to go.
Okay, follow me quickly. You should have come here sooner, Bruce.
Look, I know, and I'm sorry. The sickness is getting worse. I think the Hulk's trying to break away from me, and I don't know how long I'll be able to contain it.
It's far from completion, but it's a start. With your expertise added, we can get into your neural generators and figure out what triggers the beast.
Not with this kind of processing power. I mean, Len, how are we going to equip it?
Already thought of that. Here, put this on.
What is it?
Think of it as a video game.
Obviously, the devs had a bit of tongue-in-cheek fun with the writing in parts of this game, but we now have the setup for how and why Bruce can work on taking control of the Hulk. This will be the main driving force of most of the missions going forward, and like Bruce set up in the opening scene, there is a ticking clock of necessity for action before taking control of the Hulk is no longer feasible. Regardless, we have a method for our protagonist to maintain control, regardless of its violent repercussions, in the pursuit of a cure. A scientific solution to moderate rage, much like a prescription drug for emotional instability. A larger background threat using gamma transmission is alluded to as something being constructed by Blonsky in a secret vault. He is characterized as having a persecution complex, and overseeing this project in a military context. Using this foundation, the game starts to build a juxtaposition between protagonist and antagonist, comparing their struggles to fight a growing rage within themselves.
Calm down, General. You're going to have an aneurysm.
You've commandeered the inner vault and established a level 15 clearance. Only the president and senior cabinet members have that access.
Surely you of all people don't need a lesson in protocol, General. Shouldn't you be more concerned with keeping the Hulk in check?
You're not as clever as you think you are, Blonsky. If I so much as imagine you're keeping anyone but God Almighty in that cell, I'll find out and be on you like a dog on a rotten steak.
Obviously, there is a conflict, and we begin to see the need to be an authority manifest in anger in the form of the Abomination. Luckily, thanks to some goofy cheat codes, The Hulk is there to confront the emerging monster, while at the same time representing the Great White North. God, this game is hilarious. Blonsky's underlying issues are under wraps for now, however, as he blames Banner for the attack on his facility, tying the thematic knot between the two even tighter.
Good news is we managed to get most of our vital equipment inside. General Ross, over here.
I saw it happen. Plain as day.
It's okay, sir. You're safe. Them two creatures are gone.
No. I saw what happened. With my own eyes. The Hulk was to blame.
The game takes some time to build up the systemic powers at play, and showcase the Hulk being used as an excuse to push excessive military funding of heavily destructive mechs, a minor critique of military spending in the real world if you ask me. This, coupled with Blonsky's mutated minion Mercy, are showcased as means to show that, no matter the cost, our villains will do whatever it takes to fulfill their goals, even if their own people are collateral damage. The game never fails to show that these external threats are actually bad guys, but it also is setting the tone for a more unsettling conflict within.
Bruce, I'm coming for you.
What's happening to me?
My darling boy, my Bruce. Don't be afraid. Scientists aren't supposed to fear evolution.
The first time I saw this, it expanded what the Hulk was in my mind. It's not just a compulsion, but it's a growing one that will ultimately overtake and be uncontrollable. The Devil Hulk is a perfect visual representation of the themes in this story coming to a head, and we get a thematically satisfying comparison between Blonsky and Banner as to how they deal with responding to their consciences as they move forward with their goals.
He can't keep the beast inside him much longer. Once we capture him, I'll know how to control the transformation. We'll know. God help me. I'm beginning to understand the appeal.
We begin to see that the goal of controlling the beast is something they both share, and that just as Bruce has external motives to keep the beast from hurting people, Blonsky has external goals to use the power for ambiguous ends. However, the beast grows in Blonsky dangerously fast.
I didn't mean for things to happen this way. I feel like I'm breaking down inside. I'm a freak show.
Sometimes you gotta do what's necessary. The mutation doesn't have to be a curse.
Yes, it can be a blessing if I choose it to be.
You're addicted to the power. You're becoming an abomination.
No, it's not like that. I promise.
I'm not afraid of the mutation anymore. Not when I have this kind of power.
As our antagonist falls apart internally, we get an unexpected twist while in the pursuit of fixing Bruce's emerging problem.
Where you are. Do not attempt to retreat or we will fire.
Bruce, this is Len. I need you to listen to me. I can't protect you anymore. We've lost control, both of us. If you don't let me help you, you'll destroy yourself and the rest of us in the process. They'll kill you this time if you don't comply.
In the face of confronting really bad anger issues, Bruce gets betrayed. Not exactly a great way to fight the problem at hand. Regardless, given the emerging threat, it seems best to go after the best resources for attacking the problem. But as Samson should have known, Blonsky doesn't want to help Banner get rid of the problem, but instead harvest a way to control and use it. The betrayal adds some nuance to Samson's character, but seems to betray his intelligence a bit, so not the writer's best choice to move the plot forward. But we finally get a face-to-face confrontation between Bruce and Emil, though.
Go ahead, Banner. Hit me. Hate me. You know you want to. Those restraints you're wearing translate your strength into nerve impulse energy. The more powerful the prisoner, the more energy he uses to restrain himself. If you become the Hulk, you'll kill yourself.
You can't break a man who's already broken, Blonsky. What if you get inside and you don't like what you find?
I know what triggers it, you freak. I know how tough you are to the nearest decimal point. I don't need to know how to become like you. I need to know how to control it.
That voice. What are you?
I'm Ahab, and you're the big white whale. Now, open wide and say, ah.
Now Banner knows Blonsky's secret, and both of their manifestations of internal conflict are brought into juxtaposing conflict in the world. Ironically, as Emil tries to expose Bruce's mind, he gets exposed for the monster that he has become.
We've located Director Blonsky. He's headed for the south access way. Damn it, he's going the wrong way. That's a dead end.
Don't you dare, Banner! This is not your time! Do you understand me?
Citizen, get your men in there and divert the creature's attention. Whatever you do, don't fire on the director. Close it in now, General. Oh, something's happening in there.
Banner, for what you've done to me, I'll kill you.
Oh my God. General Ross, can you see this on the monitor, sir? It's Director Blonsky. He's the Abomination.
You didn't win here, Banner. You're coming my way again whether you like it or not. It's only a matter of time.
Next, Bruce must confront his betrayal in order to move forward.
Bruce,
You should have believed in me. We had the cure.
I couldn't have known Blonsky was the Abomination. I only wanted to make sure things didn't get worse.
Yeah, well, they got worse. Without a power regulator for the machine, we have no way of halting the process. The Devil Hulk's going to emerge, and there's nothing I can do about it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I gave up on you, Bruce. I'm a liar, and an idiot, and a thief.
This is the regulator axis. Where did you get this?
Let's just say it fell off the back of an army general. You know, just in case I had to go to a plan C.
Apology accepted.
Now that we're back to business as usual, it's finally time for Bruce to confront his innermost demon.
Trust me, he's as real as the Hulk is.
Understood. I'm going to activate the machine. I'm sorry, Bruce. This next part will be very unpleasant. Good luck.
This leads to the Hulk's most inspiring line ever in the face of danger.
You're a fractured piece of Bruce's psyche. A little boy crying out to be loved, and you're afraid of me, as you should be, because I'm going to erase you from his mind.
Hulk is not afraid. Hulk is the strongest one there is.
Then he confronts his giant and beats the shit out of it.
No, you're not strong enough. You're just a child. Please, I only meant to.
At last, Bruce has control of his rage and doesn't have to fear it controlling him. Blonsky, on the other hand,
I'm losing my mind.
You're going to gain the whole world. With this kind of power, who's to stop you? Banner's a mindless beast. Ross isn't far behind.
I don't want power! I want my life back! Ah!
They took away your dignity, Emil. And now they're going to take you away from Mission Directive. They'll destroy everything. Unless you destroy them first.
the Abomination preys on Blonsky's defensiveness in the face of disruption, but little did we know what his goals really were.
Unauthorized entry in console. Mission directed. Level 6 clear.
Oh, please. Oh, God. Just hold on, baby. I'm here.
Blonsky.
I should have come back sooner. Oh, God! I've lost her.
I don't understand. Is this mission directive?
I only wanted to help her. That's all I wanted. She's gone.
What's happening here? Emil, who is she?
My wife, Nadia, and my unborn child. They weren't affected. Our job was to examine what we knew of gamma radiation and its effect on human tissue. It was a government program sparked by your previous research. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
Emil, it's time to bring this to an end.
No! You created gamma transmutation, Banner. You did this to her. My bloodline ends with me because of you and your damned experiments!
Blonsky's motives were not completely selfish, but his need for control grows his anger to result in harm, rather than acceptance and a willingness to work with Bruce. This leads to a final square-off between the two philosophical positions. Of course, the one that has learned to filter his anger into productive conflict mitigation wins over the loose cannon of rage that seeks revenge as a means of holding on to power over the situation.
Nobody ever wins when you're involved. When they print the morning edition, do you know what the headline is going to say? No survivors. Nadia.
Blonsky's unrelenting rage is his downfall. On the flip side, Bruce is able to grow in productive ways of leveraging his inner beast. Even though Bruce does the heroic thing, he is still misunderstood.
A dam burst today, releasing almost 20 million metric tons of water. In a statement released this morning, General Thaddeus Ross blamed the Hulk for their devastation.
We had the cure. It was right there in front of us.
Dreams always are, Len. But you can never reach out and take them, now can you?
We could start again and finish this time. I know I can persuade them to let me help you.
I can't stay here. They're too afraid of the Hulk to let you try. I guess this is me, Len. I'm not a person anymore, I'm the Hulk. And I can't force people to understand.
Dr. Banner, remain where you are. You are in our sight.
This doesn't make any sense, Bruce. You don't have anywhere to go.
Who does?
Bruce has come to a place of acceptance. He recognizes his anger as part of himself, and chooses to work on himself despite the adversity he faces. Banner is truly a motivating hero in this way, teaching us that life will challenge you, and often bring out the worst in us, but that ultimately it is up to us to recognize our response to those challenges. We as humans have very little control over the powers that be, but we do have the power to fight our own battles in the small aspects of life that we can control. We need to be willing to stand up for ourselves when evil tries to come after us, but we also need to take responsibility for our own emotional well-being. This game brilliantly paints a simple but effective picture of confronting your demons, and shows how you can face them with bravery and win, or how you can succumb to them and be enslaved. It shows that rage is a defense mechanism with grave ramifications if exercised recklessly. If these basic concepts and themes were turned into a Hulk film, I think it would be the most effective Hulk adaptation put to screen. Sure, there's some camp and contrived plot twists that should be reworked, but this game does in less than half an hour of cutscenes what no Hulk movie has ever done, in my opinion. Well, we talked about the game's take on the Hulk's themes therein, but should you play this game for the actual game? Is it a fun game? Well, why don't you ask my hulking friend, Joe Fixit?
Watch where I put this thing!
thrusters. I'm not only the president of Head Clubbing Command, I'm also a client. Control, this is Joe. I have a blunt object. Watch the birdie. Say hi to your mom for me.
Thank you everyone that watched this video essay till the end. Like for Joe Fixit, subscribe for more content, and comment down below what you think of the Hulk in our modern day culture. Thank you for coming to the Dutch Ritz party, everybody. I will see you in the next video.